Welcome to chessstrategyguide.com. In this position you see that the black is castled. After castling, the king enters into the safe zone, that is behind the protection of 3 pawns and the rook protecting it from the back rank weakness. It is very controversial that the king hides himself into the castle and the queen remains on the field terrorizing the opponent. Is it true in the real life? That is the question of debate, but on the board it is true. It is the mission of the chess lover to entice the king to come out of the castle so that it will be targeted easily. Sometimes, rather I should say most of the time, the player has to sacrifice one or two of his pieces to do so. In today's lesson, we will see how to demolish the protection of these pawns and make it easy to target the king. Let us see the position. In this position, we will see how black tactically brings out the white king out of his castle. If you observe the position, you will see that the pawn on h2 square is defended by the knight and the king. So, to deflect these pieces, black will have to adopt some tactics so that the black queen will get entry into the white's territory. So, black knight takes the pawn on f2 square. In return, king takes knight and the black knight jumps to the e5 square with the intention either to capture the knight on f3 or jump to the d3 square, forking the king and the bishop on e1. To avoid this forking, if white plays queen on b1, then the black knight will capture the knight on f3. White will capture this knight, bishop takes knight and king takes knight, leaving the pawn on h2 undefended, and black gets entry into the white's territory by capturing the pawn on h2 square. Black also succeeded in bringing out the king out of its castle into the open territory. But instead of playing the queen on b1 square, if white plays king g1, then black knight will jump to the d3 square, attacking the rook on e1 square. White plays rook f1, black plays bishop h3, again attacking the rook. Knight c2, bishop takes c2, rook takes c2, bishop takes c2, queen takes e3 check, king goes to h1 square, knight f2 check, king g1, knight d1 check, king goes to h1 square, queen takes f3, and if the rook takes queen, then the black rook will jump to the e1 square and check, and there will be a mate in next two moves. To apply these tactics, one should first ensure that there are sufficient pieces on the battleground, so that after sacrificing one or two pieces, there should be sufficient pieces to continue the attack on the king. In this position, white is to play, and the black king is well protected behind the castle, the 3 pawns and a rook. The aim of the white should be to break this castle and enter into the black's territory or take out the king out of the castle. So white first captures the h7 pawn with its bishop, black captures the bishop, and here the bishop is sacrificed. Now white plays bishop f6, g takes f6, two bishops are sacrificed, and the bunker of the king is totally demolished. Now the white will start its attack on the black king as queen h4 check, king moves to g8 square, then queen g3 check, king moves to h7 square, and then white brings out its rook at rook e4, and then black has nothing to defend his king, and it will be a checkmate in few moves. In this position, black has a critical position because no pieces are so active. No pieces are directing towards the king side to defend the king, but as far as the white side is concerned, the queen, rook and the bishop all are directing towards the king side and ready to attack the king. As at the same time, the knight on d6 square is nicely posted in the enemy territory. Taking the advantage of this, white first captures the pawn on h7 square. In response, king takes bishop, rook jumps to the h3 square, check, and king goes back to the g8 square. Then white plays queen h5. Now black has nothing to defend, only the queen is there available to defend, and therefore queen comes to h6 square. White plays the excellent move, that is knight f5, and black queen takes the queen, and knight jumps to the e7 square, check, king goes to h8 square, and bishop takes queen check, and it is mate.